Hey beautiful people of earth, welcome back to another video. As you guys know, I am back, after a very long time. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but if you guys didn't watch my last video, go watch it and then watch this video. As you guys know, I'm transitioning my channel now to a book channel where I just review books and book talk things. So today we are going to be reading a new book, and we are going to read a book that starts off, this new era. The first book that we are reading to start off the year, the YouTube journey, is Flipped by Wendelin Van Draanen. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Okay, Angel here editing, but the author's last name pronounced is Wendelin Van Draanen. So yeah, I didn't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, back to the video. There's a movie of it. I think the movie is probably more popular than the book. This is the movie right here. I just recently watched the movie 2-3 weeks ago and was so good. 5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. But it was actually amazing. I loved it, and then I was like, wait, I need to read the book, because I'm a type of person which is book first, then movie. But since I didn't know there was a flip book, then I was like, wait, there's a book? I need to get this. So I decided to get the book. So if you don't know what Flipped is about, it follows these two main characters, Bryce and Juliana, Julie for short. And it says here for Bryce, all I've ever wanted is for Julie Baker to leave me alone. And then now it says, but there was no going back. I liked her. And for Julie's, it says, one like at Bryce Lowski, and I became a lunatic. But now it says, but all those years I liked him, I never really knew him. So, I'll just read what it said. The first time she saw him, she flipped. The first time he saw her, he ran. Okay, that was in the 2nd grade, but not much has changed by the 7th. She says, my Bryce, still walking around with my first kiss. He says, it's been 6 years of strategic avoidance and social discomfort. But somehow in the 8th grade, everything gets turned upside down. Just as Bryce is starting to think there's more to Julie Baker than meets the eye, Julie's wondering if there's anything behind those baby blues. Fresh, funny, and flippin' fantastic. This romantic comedy of errors is for anyone who's ever fallen in or out of love. Directed the movie. It's a very popular director, R.I.P., but it was Rob Reiner, or Reiner, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it was Reiner. What he said about the book is, I was totally knocked out by how Wendelin Van Draanen was able to capture what it really feels like to fall in love for the first time, which he directed The Princess Bride, Stand By Me, and a bunch of other films. The movie was so good, with 5 out of 5 stars, like I said. So now I'm excited to read the book. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I know it's darker now, but I forgot to start reading and showing you guys, but I have read the first chapter of Flipped, and so far it is actually pretty good. Wendelin Van, I can't pronounce her last name, I need to see what it is. Her writing I actually really I'm honestly enjoying the writing, and I like how it's the movie where we're gonna get the different POVs of Bryce and then Julie and then back. Look, I already know what happens at the end and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue reading. I'm gonna read chapter 2, and then that's probably all that I'll be able to get through today, but who knows. Okay, today is March 11th, so it has been 2 days, or today's day 2 since I started Flipped. I am on page 44. I ended on 20 in my video, but I brought my book to school and I read a little bit at school. I only read 24 pages from when I last ended off yesterday. So yeah, I'm just going to continue reading and see how far I can get today. Okay, as you guys can see, I just read more of Flipped. And I'm just gonna give like a little bit of like how I'm enjoying it right now on my full review. Right now, it's honestly kind of similar to the book. Usually there's a lot of differences from a book and a movie, but honestly it's kind of feels like kind of the exact same. Like really the only difference, there's like minor differences, but really the only like not really big difference, but one of the bigger differences from the movie and book is that Bryce has black hair in the book, and in the movie he has like blonde hair. Another big difference is that in the movie Bryce's dad is like pretty mean. Like he's not mean, but he's like my least favorite character probably in the movie. Julie gives Bryce eggs, and he in the movie he's the one that points out that they could be like, they could have chicks in them, or they could get like poisoning or something because the yard is dirty. But in the book, Bryce's mom points it out. Like Wendelin Van Draanen's like writing is pretty good. Like I'm really liking her writing. Like I like how she writes. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna read a little bit more, and I'll update you guys soon when something happens or something like that. I don't know. Okay guys, we are back with another update of Flipped. I have made it to page 100. I think I ended off on like 80 something or something like that. I don't know, but I ended off on something. I don't remember what it was, but I brought my book to school again, and I read a little bit at school, and I read a little bit like right now. So we are at a page 100, like exact. So we have just above 100 pages left because there's 212 pages in the book. This is a pretty short book, so like I'm almost done basically. So yeah, we're just gonna continue reading, and I'll give you any updates. Okay guys, we're back with another update. Today is March 15, so today is day 6 of reading. I know the last time I ended off was day 3 of reading on March 12, but day 13 on Friday the 13th I did read. On the 14th, which was yesterday, I didn't, and on the 15th, which is today, I did. I ended off, I think, I don't know when I ended off on video, but before I ended off like on 128, I am at 145 now, so I am getting closer to finishing the book. So far, this book I'm really enjoying. Honestly, like I said, there isn't much differences from the book and the movie. Usually, like a book and a movie, like I said, has a lot of differences, but this really does not. Like, there's like minor differences, but like not huge differences. So that's good because I really like the movie, how it was. Yeah, we are almost done. So I'll see you when I get more updates. Okay guys, we are back for another update. Today is March 16. It is day 6 of reading, and we are so close to finishing the book. We have 2 chapters left. We have one of Bryce's POV left and one of Julie's POV. So we have the last 2 chapters are Flipped and the Basket Boys. So we are very close to finishing this book. I think I'm just gonna try to finish it today. And then there's like extra stuff, bonus material included, that the author like included. So I'm just gonna read a little bit more, and then I'll give my review and everything when I'm done. Okay guys, today is March 17th, and we have officially finished Flipped. I'm gonna get into my review later, but first I'm gonna say some things. I finished the book in 7 days, in 1 week, which it wasn't very long. It was 212 pages, and plus like the extra stuff, which I'm gonna get into too. Not too much, and I'm not gonna spoil like the book or the movie, but I'm just gonna get into some stuff. I was saying like the whole time, I was like, oh, the book isn't very different from the movie. They're honestly kind of the same. But the only thing that was different was that end. Like towards the end during the Basket Boys thing, if you know, you know, it was very different. But the Basket Boys where you can bid on like boys at school to have dinner with, and Julie does bid on like a different boy, not Bryce, but Bryce ends up having like lunch with 2 girls instead of just one, like in the movie. And I can't go into full detail, but that ending is different. They're not entirely different, but they're still like pretty different. But like in the author's note, Rob Reiner said that he wanted the book to be exactly like the movie. Like he didn't want to change anything about the movie. He just wanted to be kind of like a replica of the book. There are some stuff that aren't in the movie that were in the book. For example, Champ, which was Julie's dog. I didn't even notice that. That is not in the movie. Julie doesn't have a dog in the movie, and in the book, she does. And Julie's uncle, in the movie, it's Uncle Daniel, and in the book, it's Uncle David, which I didn't even know that name difference because they're both start with D, so like I was like, oh, they're the same, but not much of a difference, honestly, but still, like, some minor differences. So honestly, I can't really name any like cons of this book. Like, I just love this book, like everything about it. Like the whole book can be invested. I kept on reading. It was that book where I'm like, I can't put down. Wendelin Van Draanen's writing is amazing. There's some like very like emotional stuff, a lot of stuff that can get you like start cracking up. I don't know, the whole book itself was amazing, especially that like extra stuff at the end, the bonus material. That was so amazing. Like it was just so heartwarming too. There's like this quote that she says here that I'm gonna read, but honestly, the ending, a lot of people were disappointed with. They wanted to know what happened with Bryce and Julie, because I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending can be a little disappointing for some. And after I read it, I was like, damn, like I kind of wish the ending was like how it was in the movie. Like I enjoy that, like the movie ending more. But after I read like the bonus material, I was like, okay, I see why. Like, this was what she said for like her ending. She said, I left it open-ended because I want my readers to think about the character's future. What do you think should happen? I mean, if it were you, what would you do? Basically, I want you to make your life the sequel to the story. I want you to think about the steps you take and the people you know and see beneath the surface or beyond the moment. Then take the steps that you believe will make your life a happy one. Sometimes those steps will be harder or more painful than the easy ones, but in the end, you'll have risen farther in your life and have accomplished more for having taken the time to consider what you're doing and why you're doing it. So basically what she's saying is you make your own ending. What would you do in that ending? What would you do in that situation? Yeah, this book was just great. It kept me reading the whole time. The writing I loved. It got me like tearing up. I was like, damn, that's deep. But it also made me laughing. And I like how she's not biased with any emotions because she's female, so she would mostly be biased more with like Julie, you know, being on Julie's side, like Bryce, why don't you just like her and stuff, or why do you have to be so mean? But then you also realize Julie was pretty annoying too, like sniffing a boy's hair, hugging him, trying to kiss him and stuff. Like Julie could have been annoying, but Bryce was also really mean. Like Bryce was also really mean. Like there's a bunch of stuff that he did. There's a bunch of stuff in the book that I won't spoil, so you know you could be surprised if you do want to read. But there was a lot of stuff that Bryce did to Julie that was really mean. They both could have worked on stuff, you know. Julie could have been more like, she could have like pushed herself to not be super weird and stuff. And Bryce could have been, you know, nicer to Julie. So at first I was going to give this a 4.75 stars because the ending was like what made me like, all right, like damn. But after I read that author's note or whatever, it became a 5 stars because I like when authors or like movies do an ending where it kind of ends like on a cliffhanger, but like you make your ending. Like, what would you do in that situation? For example, in Stranger Things, when 11 is dying, we don't know if 11 is dead in the Upside Down. If she did make it to the 3 waterfalls, it's up to you to make your ending. So I really like that Wendelin did this. And this is probably easily a 5 stars now since like I read what she did with the ending. I will be starting
a new book soon, probably this Friday on March 20th. It's probably gonna take me like 2 weeks to read it. So if it does ever take me like 2 weeks or like 3 weeks or like a long time to post, just know I am gonna post, and if not, then I'll let you guys like know or something. I'll make a video. Usually books take time to read, you know, like I don't read books in 2 days. It takes time to read, especially this new book. It's not super long, but it's like longer than this one for sure. And it's probably gonna take me by like April to probably upload it, because I'll probably finish it by April. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what the book is gonna be, which I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'll just give a little sneak peek. But I think like the diehard fans of this book will like know it off the bat. The only thing that I'm giving you is that it is written by Lynn Painter. If you do not know who she is, she writes a bunch of romance books. For example, Better Than the Movies, Nothing Like the Movies, The Do-Over, Fake Skating. What else does she have? Betting on You. She's coming out with the new one, Trust Fall, which we'll definitely have to be reading. This book I've been wanting to read for a very, very, very long time. So I'm not gonna tell you exactly what it is till, you know, the video comes out, which you guys just have to wait and see. So that's just a little hint for the next book. But yeah, Flipped was a 5 stars, amazing, great. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys liked this, you know, first new transition of my new channel. And I'll just post when I finish reading my next book. And yeah, see you guys in chapter 2. Toodles.